Road tubeless tyres and wheels are becoming increasingly popular, but a number of people have had and continue to have problems with them. And it's no surprise really, is it? Because they look so similar, but yet are significantly different enough from normal tyres and tubes that it can actually then trip us up. So let's try and simplify things, shall we? Coming up are our tubeless do's and don'ts. Now firstly, let's have a little recap as to what it actually is. A tubeless system is one that, surprise surprise, has no inner tube in it. So in order for it to work, the bed of the rim needs to be airtight. So often that can be as simple as putting special tape around to seal it, like you can see on this DT Swiss one here. And then some tubeless tyres are also impermeable as well. So in order to set them up, you literally have to put nothing inside whatsoever and it will be airtight. Most though will have a requirement of some kind of liquid sealant that will then coat the inside of the tyre and fill all these tiny little holes, make it airtight. But then as an added bonus, that sealant will also seal most punctures as you're riding along. Now without the sealant, you still get the benefit of no impact punctures, but you would then still be susceptible to sharp objects. The most critical part of a road tubeless system is actually the interface between the bead of the tyre and the wall of the rim. Both components need to be tubeless specific in order to be safe. Which leads me neatly on to our first don't. Don't try and make a normal road tyre tubeless. It is actually really dangerous because a tubeless specific tyre will have a much stiffer bead on it that won't stretch. The reason it needs that is because there's obviously no inner tube inside that would otherwise be holding it onto the rim. You can bodge it with higher volume, lower pressure tyres, so like mountain bike tyres or cyclocross tyres, but the higher pressure needed for skinny road tyres means that it's just super sketchy. Do consider running a little bit less pressure in your tubeless tyres anyway, in comparison to what you might run in your standard tubed tyres. Basically, on anything other than super smooth tarmac, it's actually going to help you roll more efficiently because the softer tyre is going to be able to absorb that road buzz, and you don't have to worry about pinch flats anyway. And yeah, I would genuinely consider running 46 PSI in a 28. Now I mentioned sealant a little bit earlier on. I always run sealant inside my tubeless tyres. That way I get that puncture protection from sharp objects as well as pinch flats. But you have to remember that sealant has a lifespan. It will dry out inside the tyre. So from time to time, maybe every 3 or 4 months, you need to re-top up those sealant levels. Very simple to do. Just let the pressure out your tyres, remove the valve core, inject some more sealant, and away you go. Do make sure that when you're actually putting the tyre on in the first place, that you push the bead of the tyre into the central well in the rim, because that effectively decreases the diameter of the wheel and therefore gives you more slack in the tyre in order to actually then get it over the rim sidewall. Don't spend hours and hours trying to pump a stubbornly deflated tubeless tyre. There are loads of little tips that could well make life a lot easier. So with your sealant inside the tyre, you want to roll it quite firmly along the ground or your worktop. And what that'll do is it will coat the bead of the tyre with a nice layer of sealant, and that should mean that it inflates much more easily. If that hasn't worked, the next step is to get some soapy water and then just brush it on the sidewall of the tyre, and that can really help to get things to seal. Now there are other tips, but if I'm honest, by this point, if it still isn't seated, then I tend to run out of patience. And so I instead bring out the big guns. If you run tubeless across a number of different bikes, then something like this to peak booster could well be a worthwhile investment. So it works like a normal track pump, but then it also has this air canister that you charge up to 160 PSI, and then at the flick of a switch, it releases all that air, super high volume, exactly like a compressor would work. Now, if inflating tubeless tyres isn't a regular occurrence for you, then perhaps instead of investing, you should just search out your local air compressor. Now, strictly speaking, all the garages and petrol stations near me say that you're not allowed to inflate bike tyres with their air compressors, but you might be able to find a friendly one, and be really careful. Do wait for the telltale pop as the bead seats, and then you're done. Whatever you do though, don't just go nuts. Keep pumping all the way up to 120 PSI and then blow the tyre clean off the rim. It's loud and it's really messy. Don't just throw a tubeless tyre in the bin if you do happen to get unlucky enough to actually suffer a puncture that won't seal, because you can, in some cases, repair the tyres. I've done it just with a normal puncture repair kit, but you can get proper tubeless tyre repair kits as well. Now, some tyre manufacturers don't recommend this practice, so you probably want to check first. Well, there are your do's and your don'ts then. Tubeless as a system is not for everyone. Most riders still don't really feel the need to convert at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. But just bear in mind that it is becoming an increasingly competitive option, and the further away from tarmac that you do stray, the stronger the case for tubeless becomes. Yeah, I'll leave that with you. Right, do make sure you subscribe to GCN before leaving this video. To do so, just click on the globe. And if you want to watch a couple more videos that are relevant to this topic, how about clinchers versus tubeless versus tubular tyres? Oh yeah, that one is just down there. Or to see a video where we have a little look at wide rims and wide tyres, click just down there.